Hello, this is our Reverend Bill, and tonight is Friday, January 24th. And I think what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to review the latest series from Taylor Sheridan, which is Landman. Um, for those of you who may not know, Taylor Sheridan, as far as I'm concerned, pretty much started his career as a deputy in Sons of Anarchy. And he was, he wasn't the star of the show. I think he probably did about maybe well, maybe more, maybe like 20 episodes or so, and then I guess he was killed off or something. I don't know, but he left. But he found a niche for himself developing shows. I'm sure he's very rich for it. So yeah, it's pretty good. I got my new glasses back, by the way, finally, and I even got little bands so I wouldn't lose them. I never wore bands before because I thought they looked kind of geekish, but it looks even more geekish walking into walls because you lose your glasses. So we're going to go the way of the band here, and hopefully I can hold on to these for a few months. Anyway, as far as Landman goes, I got to say this is another home run for Taylor Sheridan. I do enjoy his shows quite a bit. Um, this is another. His shows seem to be oriented more to the male audience, so the more testosterone it seems, the better, which is a plus for us if you're a man. And women, I think, can enjoy it too. But I'm just saying, I think his target demographics probably would be, the male over 18. At least that's what it seems to me in this show and the other shows. The show is about Tommy, played by Billy Bob Thornton, who's actually outstanding in everything that he's in. Bit of a strange bird, if you ask me, but you can't deny his acting. He's also in a band, I guess, too, which I've not heard, but I guess it's pretty good. Anyway, he plays an oil man that's kind of a general manager, for lack of a better description. I don't really know the oil business. But from what I watched, he's kind of a general manager. I equate things to sports. And he's in charge of finding lands and securing them, and then when they get them, arranging the drilling. And I guess the hardest part of his job is, for lack of a better description, he plays a babysitter, where he's got to deal with the things like the police, the government agencies, any third parties are involved, and the worst part of it would be the cartels, which are heavily involved, and they own, or at least they think they own, all the land and rights to that. So he's going to negotiate a lot of crooked deals with them as well, and he's got to make sure that everyone's happy and everyone gets paid. There's a reference that he started. There's another a player in this too. I'll mention shortly, played by John Hamm. His name's Monty Miller in the show. And there are references to the fact that Monty Miller started at the bottom with Tommy. And it doesn't say flat out, if it did, I missed it, but there's insinuations that somewhere along the line they rose together and Monty played his cards right and became pretty much the man, the owner. And Billy Bob Thornton had it made for a while, but something happened. I think they were referred to something like the bust or the boom or something, and he ended back where he belonged, which is not bad. I mean, he works 25 hours a day and 8 days a week. As he said, every day's Monday for him. But he seems to be doing pretty well monetarily wise. Um, for those of you who don't know Billy Bob Thornton, he was pretty much outstanding in Sling Blade. He's also done a show, Goliath, which I guess ended a few years ago. I saw a few of that. He was okay in it. Also in it is Ali Larder, who actually disappeared for a while. She was kind of big, I want to say in the late 90s, early 2000s. She was the girl with the whipped cream bikini and Varsity Blues. And she did a few seasons of Heroes. Also is Jacob Laughlin. I know him from Mud. that he did back in 2012 with Matthew McConaughey and Reese Witherspoon. I know everything pretty much from the 2012 year because I went on a cruise with my wife around Valentine's Day and got the norovirus, which is not something you want to get. So don't do it if you're thinking about it. And I was laid up in a hotel room for about 2 or 3 days over our cruise, and all I could do was watch movies from 2012. So I caught Mud. What else did I watch? Oh, Michael Keaton and that Bird movie, which I thought was really bad. But anyway, getting off the topic, Jacob Laughlin played a young boy that befriended Matthew McConaughey in Mud, which is a good movie if you've not seen it, and I think it's probably on like Tubi or something. It's not one of those movies that's hard to get. Also, Michelle Randolph, who I don't know at all. She played Ainsley's daughter. She was in a few shows. I did look her up because I didn't know who she was. They look to me kind of like maybe kiddie shows, so nothing I would have watched anyway. But she plays the daughter, and she's a very free spirit. No doubt about that. More about that later. More characters. I mentioned John Hamm. He's from Mad Men. He plays Monty Miller, and for all intents and purposes, to Tommy, he's like God. He runs everything. And like I said, I think he was an equal of Tommy at one point, and then his star took off, and something happened to Tommy where he fell backwards. And also Demi Moore plays the dummy. I think her name is Dummy is what she likes to pronounce it. Wife of Monty, and I'm a little surprised she's in that. She looks fine, by the way, very good for her age. Full applause for that. And what acting she does is great. It's just a very small role. There's one episode I think she probably gets a little piece of a scene, but apart from that, I mean, I see her swimming in a pool in this luxurious mansion, and I think it took me a couple of episodes to realize that the wife was Demi Moore. Let's see. Also, there's a sidekick, lack of a better. Maybe that's not fair, but there's an actor. An actor is James Jordan. The character is Dale Bradley, and he was also in Yellowstone for a couple of episodes. I think he played some kind of a government agent on a horse or something. I don't know. But in this show, he actually is a right hand of Tommy. The first couple episodes, I thought he was going to be kind of like comic relief. For those of you who remember the late Stephen Furst, who was kind of a fat guy and always he was in Animal House. He was always the guy that played the butt of all jokes. Like I said, he's dead now. But I thought at first that Dale Bradley was going to be something like that. But actually, no, they developed his character quite well. And by the end of the first season, you can see why he's needed. He's a valued guy. He's got wisdom to him. He's not just a comedy relief, which I think, like I said, it started that way. Let's see. What else we got? So I mentioned that, okay, that's fine. Tommy is caught between a lot of problems, one of which is like fighting regulations and lawyers. And he's got to handle situations like one of the big ones is that the cartels get involved and they steal things like, trucks and planes. And, I think at one point, I think it was an FBI agent or a lawyer or someone said to him, "They steal your planes?" And he said, "Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like a car, like you can just go lock it with a key. I mean, it's right there. You climb in it, you know how to fly it, you just take off." And why that's difficult for him is technically he's supposed to report them stolen. But if he reports them stolen, number one, there's all the work that goes into paperwork and all that nonsense. You can bring the insurance companies in. But he found out that if you don't report it and you just sit on your hands and you wait, 3 or 4 days later, these planes and trucks reappear. So they're basically just borrowed. So the path of least resistance when something is taken is just to do nothing and wait for them to give it back to you. Anyway, Ali Lara plays Angela, his wife, um, ex-wife slash wife. It's on again, off again. Um, it's kind of funny. A lot of these characters they actually share personalities that I equate to Yellowstone. You can tell that Sheridan likes certain kind of characters, and while they're not obvious, if you look for them, you can find out this. For example, Angela and Ainsley, his daughter, they both seem to have a lot of Beth in them. They're spunky. They do what they want to do, whether it's right or wrong. And if they screw up, you kind of let them because they're kind of cute. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Um, his son Cooper, played by let's see what's his name again, uh, bu- 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 Jacob Lofland. That's I think kind of. Well, let me tell you, his character flat out is supposed to be he went to an Ivy League college, but he really wants to start off and follow his father's footsteps as an oil man. And that means starting at the bottom and working your way up. He doesn't want to be, just handed a business. He actually wants to start his oil company, and that's admirable. But I think that the one problem with this character, and I'm trying not to do any spoilers here, so I'm not trying to get into too deep. But it's 10 episodes. It's hard to talk about certain things without leaking other things. So I'm doing the best I can here. But the issue with him is I just don't think his acting's up to snuff. I like the character, I do, but the character was supposed to be kind of uh, not necessarily spoiled, but I mean the daughter's certainly spoiled. The daughter is absolutely spoiled. Um, he's supposed to be living, with a silver spoon in his mouth too, and he's supposed to be a little bit out of his element. The problem is the actor when he's playing the worm being the lowest rung on the ladder. Just when you get there, you're a rookie, and they call you a worm, and you do all the work no one else wants to do. Um, he actually looks and acts like I would expect to be the worm. I think he's supposed to be a bit more sophisticated. He doesn't really look like he's a fish out of water, and I think that he should. I mean, if you got somebody like when he was younger, someone like Leonardo DiCaprio, um, or even you could even probably go with a younger Brad Pitt or someone like that. That would probably look more in contrast to what he was doing into the way he was. But the actor they got there, he just looks like he should be there, and I think that kind of loses something because everyone treats him like he's different, but he doesn't sell the fact that he's different. He sells to me like he belongs there. Anyway, so that his acting's fine. I just think he's miscast. Kind of like Keanu Reeves and Bram Stoker's Dracula. Keanu Reeves did nothing wrong. It wasn't a role that really was for him. Anyway, his daughter is a piece of work. Ainsley, again played by Michelle Randolph. She's heading to college, and she's kind of a groupie for football players. Very cute, and she does show flashes of intelligence, but she's also a ditz. Um, I think she's best summed up in one of the lines when the mother asked Tommy, she was visiting Tommy, and she said, how is Ainsley? How is she? And he says, well, she's a 17-year-old girl who acts like she's never heard the word no since she was 8. And that kind of does sum her up. Um, Monty Miller, played by John Hamm. I swear, in the first episode, I thought for sure I heard him doing a Texas twang during a conversation or during the episode. And I was like, I hate false accents or fake accents. I'd rather a person just talk the way they talk to. Again, Sean Connery and Hunt for Red October. I just thought he's Russian. I don't put on a Russian accent. I don't like that. Just we'll go with it. Anyway, John Hamm, I thought put on a Texas twang in the first episode, but either I'm getting auditory hallucinations or the director told them to lose it. But the rest of the episodes, he didn't seem to have it, and I wasn't going to go back and watch the first episode again just for something like that. I suspect that it didn't work. Like I didn't think it did, and they probably just said, just stop it. We're not gonna change anything from the first episode, but just from now on, don't do it. And I think he didn't do it after that. I do think that when they made this movie, it was a prerequisite for everyone there to smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day, to start drinking at 8 a.m. and eat Chef Boyardee raviolis and Pop-Tarts for breakfast. These guys did not have a good lifestyle. The healthy living was not big on their priority list, and that shows. One thing is that for those of you who saw the movie, There Will Be Blood, which is outstanding. If you've not seen it, highly recommend it. Daniel Day-Lewis, for my money, the best actor in my lifetime. Really does a great job. It's about oil as well. It was based on the book Oil. For some reason, I can't remember who wrote it. I did read the book. But anyway, it told us a lot about oil. But I think this show actually teaches you more about oil. So it's kind of interesting. Somewhere on the third or fourth episode, the ex-wife pops in, and her and her daughter kind of become like the Bobbsey twins. They do everything together, and they just cause havoc. The rules don't apply to them apparently. Then they're kind of cute. They work, they're not annoying. I like watching them for the most part. The one thing that really does stand out is that they both have nice derrieres. And they make a point of showing them off all the way through the series. I'm not complaining, by the way. I just think it's strange. From the very first minute, you see like the daughter, she plays a 17-year-old, but I checked. I think she's like 27. So, I mean, she's well over the 17, but she plays a 17-year-old. But she's walking around in like, bikini briefs, her underwear, and or a bathing suit, and then. Her mother gets there, and they both wear these tight jeans, talking about their asses, and they go to the gym and do the stair climber, and they're talking about who's got the firmer ass. It just seems, it seems a little too much. Not that I'm complaining, but I was just kind of surprised. Anyway, they did develop a relation, with an old folks home, and they kind of became program directors unofficially for them. And that's kind of an interesting one, I guess. One person that really did stand out female-wise, and she actually more or less fully dressed all the way through it, is a young woman, Paulina Chavez, who plays Ariana, who's one of the widows of someone who used to work at the oil site. And I'm not going to, go into too much details because I'll give away the plot. But I think she does a great job. She's very young, and I think she's very promising. I hope she doesn't disappear after this show, because I think she's very good at what she does. And she doesn't walk around, flashing her assets everywhere like the other two. But I'm sure she's fine. She's an attractive-looking woman too. Also in it is Rebecca Wallace, who's a cutthroat lawyer, played by Kayla Falcone. She was sent down to, do what a cutthroat lawyer does. And again, I can't get into too much detail about why she's there without giving my plot points. But she's there. Monty hired her to go and take names and kick asses, and she does that very well. And she does not get along with Tommy. Both Tommy and her are determined to get each other fired. And apparently her short term, it was supposed to be like a hit and run thing. She's supposed to go there, do her job, and go away. But Monty likes her style so much as a litigator, and being someone who will just go to any length to get things done, and done as quickly. She's none beyond lying or misleading, or she's ruthless, and Monty likes that. So she's actually going to get more of a permanent place in the show. She's not going to leave like was originally implied by her appearance for the court cases. Let's see. Now IMDb gave this 8.3. I think that's a little low. I would give it an 8.7. And I would be inclined to maybe even go higher depending on the second season. As we know, a lot of times, a show is gangbusters in the first season and then just forgets why it's there. The best example is Heroes, which had Ali Larter in it. Outstanding first season, and then after that, just fell off the cliff. If this can maintain the quality, I would definitely say that I would give it a higher one. One curious thing is I did look at Rotten Tomatoes, and they had like, I don't know, something low, 65%, which I don't know where they came up with that. I thought this was a great show. IMDb thought it was a great show. I highly recommend it. I'll give it easily, 8.7 out of 10. And those of you who are fans of Taylor Sheridan, I definitely think you should watch it. For anyone who does see it and thinks I'm wrong, by all means, let me know. I'd like to hear from you. But that's it for tonight. This is Reverend Bill signing off, and have a great weekend. And if you did like this, please like, share, and subscribe. And like I said, if you disagree with anything I've said here, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.